lunchbox. And one of the most venomous insects in the world. This massive hornet can kill with its sting. A quarter-inch long stinger injects a complex enzyme mixture that destroys tissue.
So this is a story of a wasp. What is wasp? Wasp is nothing but an insect which stings. So this is the part where it stings and sucks the blood. Yes, so this is the very dangerous part by which it bites the person. So this is a story of a Tony, the boy who stings the people by his words, not by his action. So once a Tony was, when the school bell rang, all the students walked out of the gate with a smile on their face. But Tony was very sad and in an angry way. Every day it was his routine, because one of his old friends had took his lunch and he didn't have his lunch in the afternoon. So he went out of the school. And he sat on the chair watching the trees and watching the plants, where there was a sting which was swarming. So the next day the Tony came and told that to the friends, his classmates, if you hit me or if you harm me, I am going to tell to the principal. The boys were very much afraid. And one more, his friend, when he came to frighten or take the lunch of Tony, he kept a hot sausage. ಖಾರಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಚಟ್ನಿ ಹಾಕಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ತಿಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಬಾಯೆಲ್ಲ ಉರಿತು. So he get very much hot his mouth and he did not touch next time. And one more friend, when he came to frighten him, he gave a paper, on small paper, written on that if you harm him, the police going to catch you. So by this, the other friends were afraid of Tony, and Tony gave a sting by his action. This lesson is written by Pedro Pablo Sacristan. He is the Pedro Pablo Sacristan. So he has written many fables to the children and about the insects and animals. So he said that I was born in Madrid in 1973. I am the second of 6 children. So he was having the 5 brothers, and studied at the private school where my father worked as an athletic trainer. So my father was a trainer. So despite being a teacher, it was very difficult to grow up all the children. So despite being part of very modest family, I had a good education in an atmosphere of deep Christian roots. So these are the words and meanings: discriminate, harass, humiliate, and bystander. So discriminate means to treat a person worse or better than any other in an unfair way. Harass, to worry somebody by putting pressure on them or saying or doing unpleasant things to him. So harass meaning is 4th one. Humiliate, a person who sees something that is happening but it is not involved. Bystander, to support him, to make somebody feel ashamed or stupid and lose the respect of other people. When the school bell rang, all the students walked out of the gate with a smile on their face, except Tony, who had dismissed his lunch yet again. So, when the school bell rang, all the students came out of the class, but everyone were happy except Tony, who has missed his lunch. He did not have his lunch as usual because it was regular for him. One of the older boys had taken his packed lunch. One of the senior, older means the seniors, took his lunch. On his way home, Tony stopped at the park and sat on a bench. While going home, Tony stopped at the park and sat on a bench, trying to cope with his anger. He was very angry because he didn't have lunch in the afternoon. So he was sitting in the garden very angry, and he was seeing the wasp while he was gazing at the plants and flowers. Gazing means to look continuously on them. The trees in order, so that is gazing. While he was gazing at the plants and flowers, he saw a wasp. He saw a wasp flying about among the rose bushes. It gave him a bit of a fright. So what is wasp? So he wondered how a tiny wasp of the size of his little fingertip could frighten him like that. So he thought that it is a small insect, how it could frighten everyone. That was just what he needed to do himself against the older boys. He thought that when the small insect can harm or threaten everyone, frighten everyone, why couldn't I? Why can't I? So he also thought that I can teach a lesson to the older boys. He spent a while observing the insect. He was sitting and observing the insect. By the time he arrived home, he had a good understanding of the wasp's trick. He understood that how the wasp gives the threaten or frighten the people, and I also can explain the older boys a lesson. So it was fear of the sting. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಹುಳ ಕಚ್ಚಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಭಯ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಹಾಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಚ್ಚೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಆದರೆ ಕಚ್ಚೋ ಅಂತ ಭಯ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೋತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಅ ವಾಸ್ಪ್ ಕುಡ್ ನೆವರ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಬಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ was so afraid of its sting that they left the wasp in peace. ಸೊ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅದು ಕಚ್ಚಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರ ಜೊತೆಗೂ ಅದು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಡಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಜನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ಕಚ್ತದಪ್ಪ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ದೂರ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಟೋನಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ನೈಟ್ ವಂಡರಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಚ್ಚಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಿ ಟ್ರೈಡ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಔಟ್ ವಾಟ್ would frighten those bigger boys. He tried to think, how could I frighten the bigger boys? He was thinking. He thought of a plan. So he thought a plan now, and he smiled inside. I will be setting myself free from fear tomorrow. So he'll say in his mind, from tomorrow, if I teach the lesson for them, I will be free, I will be relaxed. But some children, what they do? They will complain their parents. Mommy, mommy, he is eating my lunch. Teacher, teacher, he is my eating lunch. But the boy, the Tony, was very strong. He thought and he got an idea now to sting the older boys. The next day, Tony seemed like a new boy. No longer did he walk with his gaze on the ground, nor did he look away when people spoke to him. He was confident. So he did not see here and there. He just walked slowly. He was very confident and ready to face to anyone. But every day what he was doing? He was bending his face and he was going. But today he was very much confident. He set his mind on his new role of frightening people. He was having in his mind, I have to frighten the people now today. And on his back, he carried a backpack full of stings. So he was carrying stings. What were the stings? Let us see now. So he was carrying a bag full of stings. The boy who stole his packed lunch that day ate an extremely hot sausage. So when he kept his lunch bag and he went out, one of the boy has picked his lunch and ate the sausage. That with the sandwich when the ಚಪಾತಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಚಟ್ನಿ ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವನು ಸಾಸನ್ನು ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. But the sausage was so spicy that he ended up crying and coughing. Never again did he want to eat anything belonging to Tony. He got a lesson that from that time he is not going to touch the lunch box of Tony. Another boy wanted to hit Tony. So one more boy came to hit Tony, but Tony didn't run away. Tony did not run away. He told him the phone numbers of his parents. He told, yes, my father's number 9334621318. Then his teacher's phone number, and the boy's own mother. If you hit me, they will all find out and you will be feeling sorry what you did. I am going to tell everything to your parents, my parents and teacher. And you will be feeling sorry for that. So Tony told him, looking at the boy so determinedly and bravely that the boy left him alone. Oh, that boy thought, he is knowing every numbers. If he calls and say, my mother will scold, my teacher will scold me. So he went back. Another bully wanted to take Tony's color pencils. One more boy wanted to take the color pencils of Tony. Instead of giving them in fear, Tony gave the boy a small card. So Tony did not say anything. Tony took a paper and gave to him a card written by a policeman. He knew it read, if you rob this boy, I'll come after you and I will even lock you up. That was written on the card. The boy took it and read and he got frightened. Now the tactic had worked. The trick of Tony had worked. Just like Tony had been afraid of their beatings, those big kids too were afraid of many things. On one occasion, a bully hit him a couple of times and Tony had to be brave and carry out his warning. So whenever the boy came and hit him, he used to tell to the boy that I am going to give warning now. Otherwise, I will go and tell to the principal. The bully got such a fright that from that day onwards, he preferred to protect Tony. So when he told that, the boy got feared and he told, no, from today, I am your supporter. If anybody hits you, you come and tell me. So in the end, Tony became like the wasp. He would see without even having to sting anyone, he frightened them. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಚ್ಚಲಾರದೆ ಹೊಡಿಲಾರದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಟೋನಿ, and ensured that no one would mess with him. So from that day onwards, no one frightened Tony. So this is your lesson. I am going to start a video of the Tony's lesson. Come, let us watch it.